We're in East Tennessee today, and we're celebrating the East Tennessee Angus 100th year. We lay claim to being the oldest association in America. And we're on our beef tour today. At our first stop, we're at Mountain View Ranch in Morristown, Tennessee.
Without you all, this thing doesn't go. That's as simple as it gets. And there's a lot of pressure to get it. And there's a lot of pressure these days that you don't exist. I mean, the big get bigger, the big want the market, and that's consistent in any business.
I think events like this are important, that we get together as fellow cattlemen, not only to learn from one another, but be able to take ideas from other ranches and implement them at our own farm. As we celebrate as the East Tennessee Angus Association our 100th year, and to promote this and to see it go forth, I think you got to step back and look at the history of this association and see the roots of it and see how people have progressed over the past 100 years. Hopefully we can keep young people involved to keep it going, and that's what we want to try to do in not only this tour, but in future events as part of the East Tennessee Angus Association.
I think it's very important that we introduce our children at a young age, and that way they keep the tradition alive and they keep the cattle business, coming. If we don't encourage our younger generation, it's going to die out. So, in my eyes, it's very important that we encourage them to get into the cattle business when they're young, and then that way they just always carry it on.
Within our East Tennessee group, we're going to create an atmosphere where our young people can participate in shows and educational events and field days, and those kids grow up to be adults, and if they stay in the area and maintain a piece of land, they'll have Angus cattle.
One of the great things about the American Angus Association is the fact we have this long storied history of 135 years, but frankly it takes local organizations such as Eastern Tennessee that now celebrate their centennial to be part of this. And that's really, when you think about our success, it's driven by a grassroots organization such as the Eastern Tennessee Angus Association.
I guess what I would say is any opportunity anyone has to fellowship with fellow Angus breeders and cattle people, I've never been disappointed. I've never been disappointed when I went on a trip about the cattle, whether it was a sale, whether it was a national event. You always learn something, you always meet somebody, you can always take away something really positive from any event you take time to attend. So if there's any way that someone can, I think they'd greatly benefit from it.
That the purpose of events like this is to make contacts and create a market for your cattle, the cattle you have for sale. And so if you don't go and you don't make contact with the people that are assembled at these events, you might miss a sale.
Our next trip, we're going to Jim Powell's Angus Farm, and he's really concentrating on genomics, and we'll see how he's doing some things, some new technology. Jim's kind of at the front, cutting edge new technology and stuff, and we're seeing some of the things that he's doing that it's probably going to be the future of the Angus breed in the future.
We recover the embryo, we give it a little time to heal, and then we post-biopsy evaluate them to make sure that they're demonstrating the characteristics that we'd want to see of a healthy embryo. And the biopsy there at the bottom, we just pick that up and we would go ahead and amplify that DNA.
We have a long history with the University of Tennessee. Our second annual Aberdeen Angus Conference was actually held at the University of Tennessee back in 1956. But on a bigger scale, the relationship between the association and leading land-grant universities around the country is really important. They help drive our research, they help us develop a better breed of cattle. So we're fortunate we have a number of relationships with universities like Tennessee, and it's paid off in a lot of ways for the association.
We're very tied to agriculture. We know the struggles and challenges that families experience on a daily basis. That's one of the roles that we have, really, is to take the time to find answers and to find a way to translate that so that it can be applied. And then it's our responsibility to figure out a way of transmitting that information in such a way that those producers can use it.
I'd like to see more Angus breeders, especially in East Tennessee, be a part of us. Be part of the East Tennessee Angus Association. Get involved and help us, and in turn you're going to learn and take things home and make your operation better.